thank you for watching this video and welcome to Brick by Brick Wealth. If you are watching this on my Instagram, please give me a like, comment, and share in your stories. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today, I want to talk to you about the 4 things you need to do before buying a rental property. So many people want to buy rental property and they have these grandiose ideas of what they want to do, but they really need to focus on these 4 key things before they even get their ideas really in motion. The first thing you have to do is you have to establish your credit. You have to work on establishing your credit for a long time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. If you have a low credit score, you really need to up that score. If your score is 740 or higher, then you'll be able to qualify for the best interest rate. And that's what you want to keep your payments, your monthly payments at a low cost. If you have a low credit score, you can opt for an FHA loan, but know that if you are going to be getting an FHA loan, then you also have to be living in the property. That's known as owner-occupied. So if you're going to be using an FHA loan to buy your first property, it's also called house hacking, and you'll have to live in the property for at least 1 year before you can rent it out permanently. So know that. The next thing you have to do is save for a down payment. There are tons of creative financing strategies out there, and they promise, oh, I can buy this property with no money down, or I can buy a house using other people's money. And where that is true, know that that is short term. That will be a short-term financing strategy. And if your ultimate goal, which was what we do, which is buy and hold rental properties for the long term, so in the end you do basically little effort to maintain them, you'll have to end up purchasing the property for buy and hold for a long-term investment. And you can't do that using other people's money. You will have to end up having your own down payment and qualifying on your own to purchase or to have your property. But if your ultimate goal is to own that property and rent it out long-term, you will have to have your own financing in place, which means you'll have to have a good credit score. You will want a good credit score so you can qualify for the best interest rate to make your payments the lowest. You'll also need to save for a down payment. And whether that be a 10% down conventional loan, a 20% down conventional loan, or if you're going to house hack and live in the property, you can use a 3.5% FHA loan. But know that if you do use a 3.5% loan, or you do a conventional at 5% down, 10% down because you're tight on funds, you will have to pay PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. The banks are going to charge you a premium. They will charge you a premium to put low amount down. They want you to have some skin in the game, and if you don't have enough skin in the game, which is 20% or higher, they're going to charge you for that. And that comes in the form of PMI, or private mortgage insurance. So you'll pay a monthly fee every single month on top of your principal, your interest, your taxes, and insurance. And with a conventional mortgage, you will be able to get rid of those fees once you hit 20% equity in your home. If you have an FHA loan, now that's a whole different story, and you will have to completely refinance out of an FHA loan because the FHA loan fees are for the life of the loan. So keep that in mind. The third thing you must know before buying a rental property, and that you actually have to do, is think about what type of investor you're going to be. Are you going to be an investor that buys multifamily homes? Are you going to be an investor that initially house hacks their first house, which is where you live in one unit and rent out the other, or you buy a house and you live in one room and rent out another room? Are you going to be a wholesaler, which technically isn't an investor, but it's something to get started in the game? Or are you maybe going to be just a lender yourself? You don't want to have properties to own them, so you want to be the lender if you have money. You have to think about what kind of investor you want to be, and also what kind you can be. Because the type of investor you can be, you can want to be a lot of things. But if you want to get started and not think of something 20 years in the future, if you want to get started today, think about the type of investor that you can be, and try and work on strengthening those skills and the qualifications needed to make what you can be a reality sooner than later. For example, if you don't have a lot of money to put down on a house, you might want to be the type of investor that does house hacking, where you live in one unit and rent out the other, as I just said. If you can only be an investor that puts little money down or doesn't have a lot to invest, you might consider partnering with somebody who maybe has more money. If maybe you don't want to do all the repairs, you work a full-time job, you still want to be an investor and own property, but you don't want to do all the daily work that comes with it, you can form a partnership, an LLC, and have somebody else join you on your journey that maybe can do the day-to-day while you help finance. If you have bad credit and you don't have a lot of money down, but you still want to get involved in real estate and you still want to get your feet wet and you still want to get learning, there are still other things you can do while you're working on building your credit and while you're working on saving your money. Because you will have to have those things, decent credit and money down, to end up purchasing for the long term. Now know that the more properties that you do get, the quicker you'll be able to buy and hold houses. The other ways you can make money in real estate without having to own something right away is flipping and wholesaling. You can flip houses with other people's money and you can wholesale houses for literally $0. You just have to do a lot of legwork, a lot of footwork. If you have a 9-to-5 job that's very dedicated plus a family at home, it might be hard to be an awesome wholesaler because it requires a lot of time on the streets, knocking on doors, literally sending out mailers, which would cost a stamp or two, depending on how involved and how successful you want to be. You can do a little bit of work or do a lot of work. The successful flippers and wholesalers, they do a lot of work, but you don't have to use any of your own money a lot of times, and it is a great way to learn your market and get into real estate. Speaking of, the last thing you need to do before you buy a rental property is you have to learn your market. You're working on getting good credit. If you're working on saving for your down payment, what else can you do in the meantime? Learn your market. You'll know what kind of investor you want to be. You've thought about it. What kind of investor can I be? And then now your job is to learn your market. Do research on the type of house or apartment complex or triplex or duplex that you want to buy. Look into the zip code in the area and narrow down the search on the types of investments you can invest in. Know the markets, know the streets. Know everything about the neighborhood. Drive by it if you can. If you're local, do drive-bys. Go on the local Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and see what people are renting their houses for, selling their houses for. Get an idea, be really comfortable with your market before you invest. So those are the 4 things you need to do before you buy a property. You have to get your finances in order, get your credit up high, save as much as you can for a down payment, learn your real estate market, and know what kind of investor you can be, not just what you want to be. Learn what you can be and make your turn your weaknesses into strengths so you can be a better investor quicker. If you're wanting to retire your 9-to-5 job and make the most of passive income that you can, I have a free training for you. Click on the link provided and get your free 7-day email mini course sent direct to your mailbox so you can get all the information that you need to start making your dreams come true. Thank you so much for watching Brick by Brick Wealth.